Okay, there you go.
Take it, man.
What's up, Fletcher? What did you do for your birthday, man? I know it was a couple of days ago.
Yeah, no, nothing crazy. I got to spend, thank you.
Just like 300 or 400 people singing to you like this?
Yeah, I'm on it. First off, I want to thank all you guys for being here. I know the qualifying just got done, and y'all got things to do tonight. So I appreciate y'all coming over here. And we, I've been around this racetrack since we got here. There's a lot more campers here. I'm excited to see that. The infield's packed. There's a lot of folks out here camping a little deeper than we've seen over the last couple of trips, last couple of years. So there's a lot of folks here excited about this race. They did a great job on the new infield. If you get an opportunity to check that out, I'd advise that you get a chance to get down in there and see that. And it's for you guys to enjoy, so that's why that's done. And but it's going to be it's a great weekend. Just want to thank all y'all for coming out here and supporting our sport, supporting this racetrack. It means a lot to me, and it's good to see. It's good to see that things going up in the right direction. So
we love you, Dale.
Have fun. At least we got some great firewood burning weather.
Yeah.
Perfect for camping. So I know you guys are gonna enjoy it.
Do you have a most memorable story about Talladega? Maybe you weren't even racing. Maybe you were just here with your dad. Maybe you were here with your family. Do you have one of those stories?
Yeah, well, the first time I ever came here to drive a car, I was working at my dad's dealership, and I was changing oil. They had this quick lube where you'd go in there and get it. Oil change, 29 minutes or less, and that was my job. I was that guy in the dealership service department to do that job. So I'm changing oil. My brother, Kerry, is a service writer in the service department. His desk to write up tickets was just about 10, 15 feet from me. And I'm working away in there on the middle of the week. I was probably about 16 or 17 years old, and I just started racing in a late model stock car at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And I was still very green with driving race cars of any kind. But Dad called, and he never called up to work, and he had no reason to call us. So Kerry said, "Dad's on the phone." I was like, "Oh, all right." So I picked the phone up, and
don't tell
he
Kerry.
said, "Look, tomorrow morning I want you to be at the airport in Statesville. We fly to this little regional airport in Statesville, North Carolina." He said, "I want you to be there. The King Air will be there to take you.
Don't tell Kerry.
Somewhere. Need to have your uniform and your helmet." And I said, "All right." 7 o'clock in the morning. He said, "Don't tell your brother." So Kerry's standing right there. He didn't want Kerry to find out. Why ain't I going? Why don't I get to go? So of course, I would have done the same thing if I was Kerry. But so I hung the phone up. Next morning, get to the airport, and I fly down here. We landed at the airport runway right over there off of turn 2. And I was getting real nervous because I knew I was going to drive a car, but I didn't know where Dad was at. And now I'm in Talladega, and I ain't never been around nothing bigger than a half mile. Myrtle Beach is the biggest track I'd ever been around. So things getting ready to get real. And we came in here into the infield, and Dad and them were in the garage, and he had his Xfinity car, or his Busch car, for the traditionalists in the crowd. They don't like it called Xfinity. Xfinity. So Dad's got his Busch car, and they're testing out the V8 motor, because the series was running V6 engines back then, and they wanted to switch it to V8. So Dad was here at Talladega with Chevrolet executives and the series executives and so forth to get this V8 worked out. And Dave Marcus was with us, or with Dad, who did a lot of testing for RCR, and for Dad. Dave and my father were great friends, and Dave would drive a car any minute of the day. So Dad was testing at Talladega and needed a few laps run. So Dad would have a couple cars here. So he had his Cup car here and the Busch car here. So Dave might drive the Busch car for a while, and then Dad would drive it. So anyways, Dave's been out there running the car, and Dad says, "Get your stuff on." And I was like, "Okay." So put on my little uniform. I had a white Sundrop uniform. Sundrop is a soft drink back in Salisbury, North Carolina. And so I got this brand new uniform, got my little helmet on, and He says, all right, get in that car. You're going to go run some laps around Talladega. He said, you can't lift. And he said, if you lift off the gas, it'll burn the piston in the motor. And I think he's lying to me about that. I think he was only I think he was worried that I would get to looking down the straightaway and looking at the corner and going, there ain't no way this thing is staying in this racetrack. If I go right here wide open, it's going to fly right out of here. And so he was afraid that I was going to lift. And so he lied to me about what might happen to the motor, like the motor's going to explode if I lift off the gas. And so, but I listened to Dad, right? You listen to anything he says, right? And
He knew.
you know, whatever your dad told you, you thought it was the gospel. So I'm trying to figure out in my head, how do I get out of the garage
wide open.
Well, I can't lift, so once I mash the gas, it's got to stay down.
Right.
I don't know how I'm going to get out of here without hitting something wide open out of the garage stall down pit road. But, so if I touch the throttle, it was wide open. So I go, bop, and try to get out of the garage. But anyways, I got out on the racetrack, and sure enough, I was going down the back straightaway, and I thought, there's no way it's going to stick. It's, you know, the corners are steep, but I just don't know how the cars just don't ramp up out of the racetrack. It's just got no way in heck it can stick to the track. And you get down in the corner, and then the next thing you're thinking is, I can't believe this thing's got so much grip. It's glued to the track. It's freaking glued to it. It's unbelievable. And so I run around there. And I ran exactly the same lap that Dave Marcus ran. And I said, I come in and get out, and I'm happy, and I'm like, I'm running just as fast as Dave. That was awesome. I ain't even thought about what I was doing yet. When I get to thinking about what I'm doing, and I'm going to go out there and really put a lap down, because I don't even know what I'm doing. But once I figure this out, I'm going to run faster than Dave Marcus. And I get back in the car 20 or 30 minutes later, and I ran slower by a second. And so what I did was, the first time I was out there running, I was white knuckling that steering wheel because I was so nervous. And I was chewing on that steering wheel driving around there because I was so scared. And when I went back out the second time to run, I let the steering wheel do what it wanted to do in the corner, and I just kind of held on to it like it was a little baby. And it just was moving around, and when I come off the corner, I let the car feed out to the wall. I thought, man, this thing's got to be flying. I'm going to lay down a heck of a lap. Dad's going to be so happy. And I came in. He'd come up there, met me at the car. Like, he beat me to getting out of the car. He says, what the hell was that? And I said, I don't know. I thought that'd be way faster. And he said, what'd you do different? And I said, well, let the wheel move around. Don't do that. That's stupid. Why'd you do that? He's like, you gotta hold the wheel hard and tight. Don't let that steering wheel move at all. That wheel, the track and the bumps are gonna try to jerk the wheel around. You gotta hold it tight, because if you're turning the wheel, you're scrubbing speed. What else you do? I said, well, let it feed out to the wall. That's dumb. What the hell did you do that for? Thousands of feet to the track. The distance that you're running is way longer that way. Why would you do that?
Way to go, Junior!
I'm talking to Dave Marcus, and he's like, yeah, your dad's right. You gotta run tight, keep it low, stay right. As you watch guys qualifying today, they run really low, even down the straightaways. They don't come up off the corner and go to the wall like we do at all the other racetracks. But I learned a lot that day, and had a blast, man. I got to drive the car a couple more times. I couldn't run any faster than Dave Marcus, unfortunately, but you know, Dave's got a lot of laps here, and it was just a great experience. I never did find out why he invited me and not Kerry, and obviously Kelly raced late models too. I don't know why he didn't invite Kelly either, but he invited me, so I always appreciated that, and that was my first memory of going around here in the race car.
Man, that's awesome. What a great story, huh? So, we know you're a great race car driver, but now, you're on TV, the podcast, you're an author, but one thing I just found out that you're going to start doing, you're going to start being a motivational speaker. You got a gig coming up, you got a bunch of fans going to be in the audience, are you going to give a talk or something?
We love you, Dad!
Where is this at?
Wait a second, where's this? Wait.
Freed Hardeman, Henderson, Tennessee.
Is that right?
Did you know that?
I gotta get ready, I guess. I had no idea. I mean, I'll come talk to you all day long. I don't know how motivated that might make you feel.
Whiskey River, baby.
I don't know how motivated you'll be by the end of it.
We had a quick
You're
question.
still awake.
Junior, I had seen on social media where you said if Nashville would open back up their speed track, you would race there. Is that true?
The short track.
Yes.
The fairgrounds. It's open. So the fairgrounds there's two racetracks in Nashville. There's the speedway that they ran on in the Xfinity Series, which is a concrete track, and it's closed. It's junk. Like, they just need to go ahead and develop that into housing or whatever you want to do. It's a concrete racetrack, which is a bad idea for a surface on a racetrack anyway. And the other one is the fairgrounds, which is where they raced, I don't know, forever it seems like. They used to run cup races there in the 70s, and I think the last one was in 1984, but they still race weekly there. Late models and pro late models. Sterling Marlin still drives that racetrack every week. So I think it'd be awesome if we went back to Nashville. They're taking the banquet to Nashville, right? We're going to go celebrate our champion in that town. Why in the hell won't we want to be racing in that town too? That'd be awesome. So, and it's a short track. Nothing wrong with putting another short track on the schedule. That'd be a good one. They'd have to, if they ran Xfinity there, I'd be running that one too. So, which I just found out. This isn't public, so don't say anything outside of this conversation. But I get to race one race a year in the Xfinity Series, and last year we ran it, or this year we ran Darlington, last year was Richmond, but I got word the other day that we're going to run Homestead next year. So y'all are the first to know that next year I'll be running a Homestead Xfinity race. So if you guys want to come check us out, not a bad place to hang out, right? Homestead, Florida, right near Miami. I love it down there. So I love that track, running the fence. I asked if I could run that race, and the reason is because I love running the wall there, and it's just a lot of fun, and St. Helens is okay with it. So we're going to do that.
And it ain't the
might
championship.
run Martinsville in 2021.
All right. What's your name?
Teresa.
Teresa, and what is your question?
So tomorrow's pace car is going to be driven by the number 3. My question is that you have stated in the past that you would never drive the number 3 again. My question is, what has brought you to that conclusion that you would never drive the number 3 again?
Well, I think the last time I run it was at Daytona, right? The Busch race. I won, so that's good enough. I was like, what? I don't want to run it again and lose. I should just stop now that I won in it. And that's it, you know. I don't know. I just and it's Dad's. It belongs to, you know. It doesn't belong to me. I'm the 8 and the 88, you know. And so I feel like that's just sacred. You know? And so I don't really know, and I'm excited about that tomorrow. A lot of y'all probably know, but maybe a few of you don't. But tomorrow, Richard Childress is going to take the number 3 car that Dad won his last race with here at Talladega, and he's going to lead the field with that race car. It's not been out of the shop. It's been right the yard for 6 off the racetrack. So that's going to be awesome to see that car just out and doing something, and no better place to see it out than here at Talladega where it won. And Richard's going to drive it, and it'll be fun to see this. I know that he'll be emotional, and that's going to be awesome to see the look on his face during that experience for him. And it'll be great for me. I'll be loving the visual of it. So yeah, I just don't have any. I don't have really any interest in driving the number 3. You know, its story has been written as far as the
Right on.
I'm getting where it ended up.
Exactly.
Now we have a 13-year-old young man. What's your name?
Bryce?
Bryce, now I heard that you just won your first race. Is that right?
No, sir.
Well, didn't you just win a race the other day?
Yes, sir, at the Fall Classic at Talladega.
Awesome. Okay, and what's your question?
Is there any pointers that you can give me in racing?
13-year-old kid. What kind of pointers can you give him?
13. Boy, I didn't run my first race till I was about 15. I don't know. You're gonna have to make some sacrifices. I imagine that you're willing to do whatever it takes, right? And so you're gonna have to make some real big sacrifices. And there's gonna be some tough times and moments maybe where you feel like it might be coming to an end, or maybe you need to do something different. But if you got a dream and you want to get somewhere and you want to make it, you got to stay with it through those times, and you got to believe in yourself no matter what others believe or what other people are telling you. And just work hard at it. But you gotta sacrifice a lot. No prom. You ain't going with your class when they go to spring break. None of that stuff. Can't be doing all that.
No loose squirming.
It's all about, you gotta live and breathe it. Especially, through the years when you're a teenager, you're gonna have to put everything you can into it.
What great advice. Let's give him a big round of applause. That was awesome.
Who said you
What's your
weren't
name?
motivational?
Tammy, and what is your question?
For Halloween, when you take the little girl trick or treat, are you dressing up with her? And what would you do?
Yeah, what are you going to dress up as?
Well, I got a costume this year. So, a friend of mine's turning 40, and she wants it to be an 80s and 90s themed party, so I'm going to go as the wheel from The Price is Right. Great idea. But my wife just told me today that I can't be the wheel of The Price is Right at every Halloween function throughout the month, so I got to come up with another costume.
Multiples?
Yeah, like I can't use that.
Yeah.
Because Wayne's got a party we got to go to. We got to take Island trick or treating, and I can't be the wheel all month. I would, but I guess I got to figure out something else to do. But I'll do whatever Island tells me to do the rest of my life. So, I always wondered, so. Just some of you guys probably don't know this, but in Talladega, this is the one race where all of the industry over in the driver's owner lot, where all the drivers and crew chiefs and all have their buses inside the racetrack. Right around 7 o'clock tonight, all the kids trick or treat. It's a tradition that happens only here at Talladega. And so all the kids are going to dress up tonight, the sons and daughters of the crew chiefs and the drivers often dress up as well. And they walk from bus to bus. So I'll have a bowl of candy out there, and I'll sit out there with my friends. I might get Blaney or somebody to come sit with me. And we'll just, talk to them, ask them about the costumes and all that good stuff, and have fun while they're doing their trick-or-treating. It only lasts about 30 minutes. It's very short, but it's sort of a tradition. And I've always wondered, I wonder how that conversation goes down between the kid and the parent. If the parent has to dress up, and they'll dress, the parents will wear anything, it seems. And so I'm about to experience that myself one of these days. I was getting to where she can talk and tell us what she wants. And soon enough, she's going to be telling me to do some things that I'm not real comfortable about. And I'm sure Halloween costumes is going to be one of those things.
What's your name?
My name's Dylan.
Dylan, and what's your question?
Dale, what's your favorite thing to do since you retired from racing full time?
Man, I love the broadcast booth. So being up there is a lot of fun. And spending time with my daughter as much as I can. Like I said, she just, for you folks that are parents, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about, man. They're changing every day, and she is just the other day, so I FaceTime with Amy, and all the time, every weekend, and Isla will look at me on the phone, and she'll say, "That's Dad," and then she doesn't know what a phone call is. She doesn't know what FaceTime is. She doesn't know that I'm on the other end, and that's really me in the moment. She might think it's a video or something, I don't know, but she just got it this weekend. Like Thursday, she just figured out that she's talking to me. And so, she's having a conversation, like, I'm in the back, Dad, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing this, that, and other, and this is what I'm doing today. So every day, it seems like, literally every single day, there's something new that they figured out. And it's the most amazing thing. And so, I love that. I love spending time with her. Deer hunt season's here, so I go bow hunting in Ohio with Truex. We got some land in Ohio, and we've had it for about 5 years. We've been managing ourselves, and it's been awesome to learn a lot about that. So getting in some bow hunts before the season ends with Truex and some friends. Taking other friends that have never been hunting, never hunted before. It's a lot of fun for me too. But that's it, man. Between Amy and Isla and the job, not much else time.
Dale Jr., it's never enough time when you come here to Team Chevy, but we appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Enjoy your weekend, all right? Come on, one more time, Dale Jr.
Yeah, I don't blame Michael.
Go right up there.
Alright.
You want to try and catch him or?
Go. Let's go.
Race fans, want to remind everybody we are giving away free Hot Wheels for everybody for the next 10 minutes. So if you want a free Camaros, a free Camaro Hot Wheel, we are giving them away free. Well, right now, stop by and see them in the Chevy Leaf and put them free Hot Wheels.
Some people are going to be upset. Not everybody's going to get one. It is.
Thank you, Dale.
You're the man, Dale.
Bring NASCAR back.
There.
Thank you, Dale.
Thank you, bro.